Okay, welcome back to 160th anniversary playthrough of Stones River using Dead of Winter from the Great Battles of the American Civil War series. We're playing Dawn Attack. We're up to the 9 a.m. turn 4, the last turn of the scenario. And just to give a little bit of a recap where we are with everything, the Confederates have attacked across Franklin Road and then up this road here and spread outwards to the west, pushing forward up through there. In the process, they have wrecked one division so far. That is Johnson's division was completely brigade combat ineffective. With two of the brigades. One, Baldwin, is still in good order, but that has effectively put the division of Johnson, who is under McCook here, out of action. Right here, Johnson. So the Confederates have done a pretty good job pushing up here. We still have Davis in generally good standing. Davis has not really lost a unit yet. They've lost some artillery, but not infantry yet. And the infantry, for the most part, is in good order, holding the line across here, as well as Woodruff over here holding the line against Cheatham's attacks over here, along with Sill from Sheridan's division. So they're in pretty good shape. As I said, Sheridan is in good shape as well, and they're just trying to hold off for this turn, because if they do, they'll at least get a draw out of it. Now, if they did manage to wreck one of the Confederate divisions, which is kind of a far stretch at this point, they would actually get a win. Because the way I'm playing is there's one extra reduction of the victory conditions, which is this road right here, these 3 hexes up here. Confederates need to get there to retain their victory condition, otherwise it downgrades by 1. And right now they have a minor victory with the wrecking of 1 division. If they wreck another division, they'd get a major victory, provided they can take these 3 hexes. Going to be kind of a tall order here, but we'll see how things go. If they don't take this, they wreck another division, they still get a minor victory and win within there. So they're in pretty good shape. There's a little bit of a traffic jam, and this is what drives me a bit crazy with Great Battles, which other people is. It's all about traffic management, getting units to the appropriate spots where they need to be, and keeping enough open terrain for the attack. One thing I was really trying to do was keep Johnson, who is now over here, in a position to go up the road. Once Liddell hit here and his forces started to take casualties and fatigue and such, that they would kind of bow out over here, and then Johnson could push up across here. That didn't happen. Liddell kind of got stuck here. Eckert got stuck here as well, with the 15th Wisconsin holding them up. So last turn, if you saw that, at the end of the last turn, I had to move Johnson over here to try to attack across this way. It's going to be a little bit of a stretch. He's got to push through Baldwin and then through the woods to get across here. We'll see if they can do it in here. So again, traffic is a big concern. Also back here, I've got a little bit of traffic jam with the Confederates. We've got Woods brigade back here that is stuck behind the cavalry and now blocked in by, I think this is McNair. Yes, McNair over here. So it's going to be a little bit tricky for them to get around the corner. But hopefully McNair can get up and attack Baldwin directly along with Ecker, take the pressure off here so Johnson can move forward, and hopefully Wood can get around there as well. So we'll see how it goes. The cavalry, I thought it was doing good by dispersing them this way a little bit and holding the lines, but now I see I've got to push them back a little bit, let that infantry come through. Rains also behind them over there as well. Polk is in pretty good position. He may swing out and try to get around and hit the flank of Davis on here as well. Last piece over here, we've got Cheatham, who has pushed back Sill, but Sill has recovered a bit and pushed them back, or Vaughn back here a little bit as well. I think Vaughn's going to have to recover one of his activations. He's got quite a few disorders over here and ammunitions over here. I think Loomis can push against Woodruff to potentially wreck that brigade and hopefully contribute to the Confederate victory. So that's where we stand. So let me bring you up to speed in terms of what turn 4 has. Now, as you've known, if you've been watching, I do a lot of the pre-work up front. So the initiative was rolled. You can see by the dice, actually these are the initiative dice there, 8-2 for the Union. So the Union actually got the initiative on this turn. I did the chain of commands. You can see the out of command markers on the appropriate units there as well. Division orders, flipped a few around, not too much different. I think Wood came out of the attack, and Baldwin over here, actually, why is he still in attack? He was supposed to be out of attack. Sorry, I didn't take that off. He came out of attack. Again, giving him a little bit more flexibility to retreat and provide kind of a defense in depth. Johnson went into attack. Everybody else is kind of staying in attack, where they are, or defending within there. So that brought us up to the choice of initiative, and this was kind of a bit of a debate for me in terms of who to get the initiative for the Union side. We've got Johnson over here. Oh, I should say before I get to that, the Union got an efficiency chit of 2, which downgrades to a 1 because of McCook having a -1. So they only have 1 initiative over here. So Johnson gets 1. Davis, because he has a +1, gets 2. And Sheridan gets 2 as well. So there'll be 5 Union chits plus the march. Oh, there's another one I forgot too. This guy's supposed to be out of march because he's now in command within here. Right, 1, 2, 3. Oh, yep. So he's up. So so there's nobody in march. So leave the chip in there just in case for that. But so they have 5. So the real debate here was whether to have Davis do the first activation or Johnson. Now with Davis, he's in pretty good shape. He does have a couple of units that are demoralized or disordered here, and they do need to recover, but they're back behind. He's got a pretty good line between Post and Carlin here, holding off Polk. It's a little open over here, and Polk could get around him, and it would be nice to potentially move up this Illinois regiment here. I think 38th Illinois, 2, 4, 6, to provide some defense over there. But I think they can be okay here for now. The other one is Johnson, where Baldwin over here, and let me just reposition the camera here a little bit so you can see it. Baldwin over here, this unit in the firefight on last turn was demoralized. And this is kind of key, because if they stay demoralized, they could get hit and fall back and retreat and get disordered and really cause some problems. So it would be nice to try to recover them, maybe bring Baldwin over to help recover them, as well as take some pot shots at these attacking Confederate units to potentially disorder them before they get momentum going again for themselves. So the thought would be with Baldwin, recover, pot shots, artillery fire over here, and that would be it, because they only get one activation. It's one activation and they're done for the turn. So whatever they do, you know, the Confederates are going to have 4 activations, per division to do stuff. So they won't be able to react to it, but hopefully they could at least stand up to it. That's why I took them out of attack, so they could retreat before shock, and just kind of provide some sort of defense in depth, so that Johnson can't just race over here and capture them. Now you may be saying, well, why can't the cavalry do that? Well, I was thinking about that, but cavalry over here through woods is very bad. 3 points to get through there. Now they've got 9, so they could go 3 at a time. But there's also the chance of disorder. And with the cavalry's low numbers over here, take a look at one of these units here. This is the 3rd Georgia. They only have a cohesion of 5. So the good chance that they would be disordered if they got into these woods, and that would just slow them down even more and potentially, stop them. That might, that being said, it may be a little bit of a desperation to get them around there and into the woods and try to get around there, because these will be important for the Confederate victory over here. So, anyways, back to my dilemma on the first chit. Davis, Johnson, Davis, Johnson. Eventually, I think it's going to be Johnson to actually be the first chit. Based upon what I was saying here before, try to preempt the Confederate attack. May work, may not, but we'll see, and that's where we are. So with that, Johnson's going to make his move. I'm going to pause you here, and I'll be back with the results. Okay, we're back after Johnson's activation. So with Baldwin going down the ranks here, the 1st Kentucky tried to take a shot over here at the 17th Tennessee. And the 17th Tennessee got the better of them, as 1st Kentucky was disordered. The Ohio unit, 1st Ohio, I believe that's it, was able to recover. No firing there. Then Baldwin, didn't realize there, but Baldwin's unit, 4th Indiana here, was, or 6th Indiana, excuse me, was disordered. He tried to recover, didn't work at all. So that just stayed there. But then the 5th Indiana artillery took a shot at Liddell and his unit there, which was Arkansas unit, actually disordered them. That was a 2nd disorder, so they lost a step. That forced them to immediately retract from their extension and retreat. So they had to come back here and lose, 1 unit or 1 strength point and move back there. I think that's good for now for the Union. I think it might be better for the Confederates, because now they can move up the rest of Liddell's units over here. Now they are in attack, so it's going to be slow movement, but they can move up here to attack a little bit more. From the other brigade, Kirk, he shifted back this collapsed unit, tried to get them back and out of the way. His unit that's there is actually in pretty good shape. He's brigade in effect, of course. He is at a 7 strength point. He can provide fire up into here with Carlin. So he stayed there. Woolrich over here was dispatched with the 79th Illinois. Now they had moved over here and now shifted back over here, providing some defense. Woolrich is just going to be there. Obviously, he's not a commander, but he can provide some leadership bonus, when that's needed. So that was all for Johnson. So he is done for the turn. So now he has to take the full weight of the Confederates coming at him, and the first one's going to be McGowan. So with that, McGowan has Ecker, McNair, and Rains over here to actually move. Now Rains is actually a little stuck back here. I'll have to figure that out. I need this cavalry to get out of the way, but we'll see what we can do with McNair and Ecker to try to get things moving here. So let me do that and be back with you. Okay, bring you back after McCowan's move. So Ecker started things off here, attacking, looking to attack 15th Wisconsin here. And notice that one of the units here was ammunition depleted. So he didn't fire, they actually shocked them. 15th Wisconsin saw the futility of staying there, so they retreated before shock and went back X, past their cohesion chest, or UDD chest, I should say, and we're fine. They moved up. Ecker moved up with the unit behind him here. The this one over here, that was it, 34th, no, 11th Texas, sorry. 11th Texas took a shot at Baldwin here. They both missed each other. But then McNair moved up and got into a firefight with Baldwin's units here. That was the 4th Indiana, and actually hit them kind of hard. Each side of the extended line lost a strength point, so they're down to 10 strength points and still disordered. They had to retreat twice. Now they're back into the woods, kind of blocking this artillery unit and this other unit back here right now. So that was kind of effective. This has left the rest of Baldwin's line a little exposed over here to Johnson if they get attacked over here. And then the other thing over here with McCowan himself, he stayed where he was, and Rains stayed where he was because they're kind of in a traffic jam over here. I thought about bringing Rains back around this way, but it would have no effect. It would just cause a traffic jam back over here. So I'm going to try to get the cavalry moving and then get him moved up there as well. I'm not sure how much Rains will play into this last turn, but we'll see how it goes from there. So that was McGowan's first. Next one, Davis. Ooh, another Union one out early. So Davis, remember Davis is over here. He has a good chance to hit Polk and to consolidate. So let me set that up and I will be back. Okay, Davis's first activation here. Had a couple things here. Let me zoom in for you. Zoom in to show you this a little bit better. So over here we started with Carlin. He was here. He moved up and successfully helped them to rally to keep them in front of the Confederates. This unit stayed where he was. Can't really move forward because he's in advance. And then over here, a little bit of a firefight over here between this unit right here, which is the 111th Ohio, and Polk's units over here. They split their fire between the two of them. Fortunately, it didn't work out very well for them. Had no effect on either one of Polk's units, and they were disordered. This other Illinois unit that was back here has moved up to provide some flank defense over here. Guns over here just stayed where they were. That's pretty much where we want them to be, I think. They got another activation, so they may move back. We'll have to see how that goes. Then we got Post over here, got into the firefight with Polk, back and forth, no hits on there. Tried to do some recoveries over here, but failed with both of them. So they just stayed put. And they'll just be right back there. Also, up the unit that was here, was at the 99th Illinois. They withdrew back to here just to give some room for Kirk and this other unit over here in case they get attacked and have to push back here as well. Woodruff back here. Move over here a little bit. Woodruff over here. He moved his units back. Now both the units, this one disordered as part of the withdrawal. This one was disordered with withdrawal fire and actually lost a strength point here as well. But that'll help because they're low ammo. So hopefully next activation they can recover some ammo over there and still provide a break over there as well. So that is all for Davis's first activation. Moving on here, we have, back to McCowan again. So McCowan's second activation will be back up here. So he's on the attack. This will be interesting. We'll see what Ecker and McNair can do. McCowan himself is kind of in a tough spot over here. He may need to move out without his cavalry escort. And then Rains is literally stuck there. I may need to swing him around here, but let's see. All right, so I'll come back with you with the result. Okay, back with McCowan's second activation. Quite an activation here. First off, McNair lined up and attacked Baldwin over here, pushing this whole line backwards. Immediate movement over here triggered the Indiana artillery to hitch up and get the heck out of there because they were flanked. This unit, the 93rd Ohio, was flanked. So they bugged out down the road, came up at McCook's headquarters there and set up there to try to provide some defense, but I'm not sure how much that's gonna do if the 99th Ohio doesn't hold. Also, too, Ecker came into attack with his 3 brigades, pushed back Carlin and the 15th Wisconsin there. They collapsed, so they're in a collapse state now. They did have to retreat into the woods, and with their high morale, they were okay in there. So they've pushed back and definitely pushed up the road here quite a bit. Of course, that's blocking Liddell at this point, which I'm not exactly sure, depending upon the jits come out, which way he'll go. Given the big push by McCowan's 2 brigades over there. Rains, I bit the bullet. I said, okay, I got to move Rains back here. There's a second one. I'm not going to get the cavalry out of here in time. So he's moved back over this way. Try to drive up here as well. We'll see how that goes. He still may be out of the picture for this last turn. So it's looking a little dire here in the center. Baldwin is still in good shape. He's not broken, but he is giving ground for cohesion and not losing his strength. But there's only so much ground you can give before you gotta take the stand. So, anyways, that's McGowan's second activation. And now let's move on to the next one. It's Union March. So there's nobody in March, so that just goes to the side. And I like to put those in just in case somebody decides to go into March or something happens. So I just do it out of habit. Next one up, Cheatham. All right, that's Cheatham's first. They're over here. And I think Cheatham it's going to be a pretty easy one. I think he's got to do a little bit of recovery as for his first activation. I hate to do that, to lose one to that, but he's got several units that are low on ammo and just in positions that are not great. Disordered, and I believe, yeah, these guys are disordered here as well. So we're going to have him, we'll just keep you on camera here, just do these disorders and cleanups here. So we'll start over here. He's low ammo, that gets out of there. He's going to try to recover. He's a 6. Rolls a 6, so he is recovered, so that's good. Provide some attack potentially up there. So now in his hex, Vaughn's hex here, he needs a 6 for the top unit. Rolls a 1. And the bottom unit also needs a 6. Well, with a -1, because he's there, of course. And gets it. So they're back in good shape. You know, he could... Guy behind him could potentially move up. Yeah, he's right within the guns. I'm going to attack, so I'd like to get him around the flank here if possible here as well. But let's hold on him for a second. Let's actually do this. Actually, we'll try to get him recovered. He is a 5, but he's in front of the enemy, so he's going to be a +1. 3 + 1 is 4, so he does recover. Highly motivated. That's good. All right. This one is not going to do anything, so he gets rid of his low ammo. Got to keep things moving here. So this guy is actually going to move up, and what's that going to do? I could retreat the artillery. That might be a good thing here at this point. Give a little ground. So we'll go 1, 2, and I think 3 to there. Now he's got to take a cohesion test. He's good. So now he's going to take a shot at him, which he'll be able to do a facing change reaction after the fire, and then shoot at him. So he's going to be 5, +1, uphill, -1, so it's just going to be straight 5. He rolls a 1, that's a miss. So now he can pivot. He's going to have to take a cohesion, UDD test. He's an 8, rolls a 1, he's okay. So he can fire back. He is a 7, so he will be on the 6th column. Oop. 6th column, +1 for rifles, -2 for those cedars. So that's going to be -1 on the 6th column. 7 goes to a 6. D +2 actually. So he's a 6. 0 + 2 is 2. He's okay. So a little firefight there. Not much going on. So that's interesting because now, seeing as he's pivoted, I forgot about this guy up here. He could move up now. 1, 2, and get a flank shot on him. So that would be +1. Flank shots +2, -1 for the hill. So he's a 4, I believe. Yeah, he's a 4 with a +1. 4 + 1 is 5. That's a small D. He's an 8. Yeah, he's good. He's okay. But that gets them kind of locked in over there. And next turn, next activation, they can move up and do stuff. The only other thing is the artillery for the Confederates. They'll move 2, 4 in underneath these guys. They should be able to do that with stacking. Oh, come on. Alright, so that was Vaughn's activation. That was pretty good. Now for Loomis over here, not sure what I'm going to do with him. I'm going to think about that for a moment and get back with you at that point. So, hope you like that one. We'll get back with you. Okay, back with Loomis here. The 26th Alabama moved up, took out a firefight with the 25th Illinois, and getting the best of the Illinois unit. They took a loss and had to retreat back across there. So that gets him pushed back. But Loomis is getting trapped in this cedar woods. His unit's moved up, but it's going to be 2 unit points. He's in attack posture here, so he could only move 1 hex with a lot of these units. So not sure how effective they're going to be attacking across here. So that's going to be a tough situation for the Confederates to overcome, trying to push back Woodruff. But if they can get a seam going back over here against Sheridan's unit, Sill, that might help. So next one. Oh, it's the second Davis chit coming out here. So that's interesting. So Davis, his second chit's coming out. Ooh, so that means he'll be done. I think the Confederates are going to get the back half of this activation set for this turn. So Davis, I think Woodruff's in a good position here. We'll see what we want to do with them. Recovery at least. Same thing with Carlin and Post up here. Figure out how to perform some defense on that. So let me take a look at that and get back with you. Okay, back with Davis's activation. So lots of activity here in the center. Post got into a firefight with Polk. Both of them lost a strength point and were disordered. Or no, both lost a strength point and the Post was disordered. He did recover one of his units behind him, so they do have some strength behind him. Of course, they have got this unit back here. Carlin, on the other hand, retreated the 15th Wisconsin, or withdrew him, drawing Ecker's fire. No effect over there. Then got into a firefight with him, and Ecker's units got the best of Carlin's, or Carlin got the best of Ecker, I should say, getting 1D. Carlin, though, did get D'd. The unit with Carlin here, Illinois unit there, got D'd as well. So bit of heavy fighting over in here to hold off in the woods a bit. Artillery for Carlin, the only artillery left with them, took a shot at McNair but missed. Then we had Woodruff back here, recovered both of his units in line, just kind of stayed where they were, so they didn't really activate other than recoveries there. So that's all for Davis. Now Davis is done, Johnson is done, so it's only Sheridan left over here on the flank. I should say over here on the flank. So let's see what comes out of the cup next. And a lot of Confederates. So Confederates are going to have the last half of the activation turn. And ooh, speaking of Sheridan, there he is. Definitely going to be a Confederate last half. So Sheridan is up next. He's over here. Figure out what we want to do with them and go from there. So with Sheridan's units, let's zoom in here so you can see it. Kind of stayed put a little bit. Didn't really draw too much attention to themselves. They did. This unit right here, 21st Michigan, did a withdrawal. Obviously got fired from the 11th Tennessee, 13th Tennessee, excuse me. But they they hit them with a small D, but they were able to bounce that off pretty easily. The other units back here didn't move, and then Sill, his unit was disordered, and so he recovered them in here, figuring that's the best thing for him. So that was pretty much it for Sheridan. So they're in a good spot. They are blocking Confederates from getting going. A real big one's going to be when Claiborne gets moving again. So we'll see. So let's see what's up next. Speak of the devil, Claiborne. So that's Claiborne's first. So we're going to have to really think on this one. So I will be back and show you what happens. Okay, so I'm back with the end of Claiborne's turn, or activation, I should say. And a very interesting activation as I bring you into camera, and we'll focus in here to show you what's going on here. Okay, lots going on here in the middle. Hopefully you can make out Claiborne's units. Up here we have Johnson. Over here we have Wood. Up here. Down here we have Polk and Liddell coming across over here. So starting with Polk, he led off the activation. He was able to make good progress up through here. Good push here, push back post. Attacked Carlin a little bit here, but post mainly, his units started to break down with disorder, and retreated, cascading the retreat, and forcing them back here. They were able to push them all the way up out of the cedars and into the regular woods over there. A little bit of Polk's regiments, about half of them, are over here now. Trying to take care of the Illinois and Ohio regiments over here, trying to push them back to get them out of there. This lined up nicely because now Liddell has moved up behind Polk. I think we can swing behind one of Polk's regiments. I think we can swing him up in here to support Polk's attack in here, and Liddell will swing in here to attack Carlin and team up with I think this is Ector over here, and attack in through there. So Union is really getting squished here. We have approximately 1, 2, 3 brigades being really pushed at this point, and the line kind of folding back here. Is it going to be enough? We'll have to wait and see. But it's definitely getting dicey here for the Union. As we progress over here to farther to the left, we have Wood, who has moved up here. Now he's in advanced orders, so he can't attack yet, but he moved up here to get behind it. McGowan is still kind of straddling in between here, so there's a little bit of a traffic concern up here. Hopefully that can be sorted out, but hopefully Wood can change orders next turn. It's going to be a little bit tough because he's a -1 on his change orders over here. But the bigger piece is Johnson up here, really laying into Baldwin's regiments over here, the 1st Ohio and the 5th Kentucky, driving them back. They forced to retreat. They weren't going to stand against the assaults, and forcing them back to Baldwin himself, back over here. So we do have some units kind of covering there. Hopefully they'll be able to block and hold them back, but we'll see. It was really kind of devastating over there on the first assault, and they're going to go. Claiborne's probably going to be going with all 4 activations. It's fatigue is nothing at this point because they've got to get to the end there. But the other concern here too is post. At this point, post, he's still brigade effective because he has this unit here that's still in good order. But we do have one. Well, he's okay. I think there's one in here who's collapsed. I won't unstack them. There's one here that's collapsed, and the other one is threatening to collapse. So that could become a real issue if post brigade gets in trouble here, and Carlin as well, because you see Carlin has a number of disordered units in there as well. So if those two both get brigade ineffective, then that basically is a second division that's division combat ineffective, and that would give Confederates a major win, and the win no matter what, because it would only be reduced if they didn't get these hexes up here. So anyways, we'll move on here. Next one, McCowan. That's his 3rd. So that will incur fatigue depending upon what he does. So let me see what McCowan does. Get back with you from there. Okay, back with you here in the center with McCowan's 3rd activation. Pretty powerful activation here. They've pushed back. McNair and Ector have pushed back on the center, forcing the artillery back. Johnson and McCook to move back, as well as the 91st Ohio, setting up defense there. Putting them on the flank of the 77th PA over here, and right into the woods against the 15th Wisconsin. Luckily, they survived when this unit had to retreat back through the woods and didn't disturb these other units that are in here. But it's pretty chaotic here for the Union going back. They're trying to crush, something over here. Hopefully, 2 of the Davis's units to get in there. But now the hexes up here on the road are looking somewhat in sight, given that Shelburne has 3 activations left. McGowan has 1 activation left. They should be able to push up here a little bit and do some damage. So we'll see how it goes. Goes with it. So that is the end of McCowan's. Let's see, we're through 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 activations. We've got about 12 more to go. Mostly Confederate, and the next one is Claiborne again. All right, that's their 2nd. So let me take a look at what that's going to look like. Probably more attacking through here, Polk pushing through here, Liddell pushing here, and hopefully Wood can start the attack through here as well, and somebody get into this spot before the activations run out. So we'll be back with you with that. We have Shelburne, or Claiborne, completed. So over here to the left, we had Johnson attack across here, drove the 1st Ohio back, and the 5th Kentucky. 5th Kentucky's in tough shape. They're collapsed and into the woods there, low ammo as well. In the center, Baldwin's units that he has with him, the 6th Indiana, it actually was able to stop one of Johnson's units here. This is the 25th Tennessee, I believe. Was able to disorder that unit. So a number of units actually got disordered here as well. He recovered. Claiborne himself came over here, hopefully to help out with the attack as well, but I'll discuss that here in a second. So Johnson is making some decent progress pushing back this way. If they can just break through over here. Now they've only got 2 more activations to go, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. They're going to have to move up, break through, and then make a dash for this over here. So I'm not sure they're going to get it. But on the other side of the coin, over here, this has turned bad for the Union. And I'll talk about that in a minute. First off, Claiborne came over here to help get Wood into attack orders, but it failed. So Wood basically just stayed right here for now. Claiborne's going to have to try to help him again. I was hoping he was going to be able to help disordered units up here, but it looks tough. Liddell, back here in the center, has pushed in after Polk's units shifted over here to the left and pushed back Carlin, and now really straightened out the line. This is the Confederate line right here, pushing up through the woods. This is the Union units over here, kind of in a little bit of a horseshoe as well, because Polk made some excellent advances in behind Carlin and pushing back Post on there. In fact, 2 of Post's units routed, which makes it very concerning that he may be in brigade combat ineffectiveness shortly. So that would be one for Davis, and one more would be it. Then over here also the rest of Polk's units pushing against Carlin's other units holding off here, both disordered as well. So I think with Carlin, all of his units are now disordered, so technically he's combat ineffective, but obviously he's going to try to recover some units here as well. So getting a little dicey over here to get to reaching the Confederate victory conditions of a second division being division combat ineffective. So that was the big push over here. Now this was the second activation, so no fatigue yet. Next one will incur fatigue. So we'll just have to see how that goes, within there. So still have plenty of chits in the cup. We've got, well, mostly Union chits. Amazingly, Union 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 chits left. Out of those, only one of them is Union. That's going to be Sheridan, of course. There's no surprise on that. So it's just how much they can hold off and, stop them through defensive fire, through retreats before shock, and other things, because they're not going to get a chance to rally. So actually, thinking about this now, Carlin is combat ineffective. He won't get a chance to recover, so he will be one down, and if Post goes, then that will be two. So very interesting play as the Confederates march on. So going with the next chit. It's the random events. So let me see if there's a random event. And there is no random event. Okay, so move on to the next chit. And it's Confederate March. Again, that's not going to come into play because the Confederates don't have anybody in March. So we move along. We have Cheatham being next. So Cheatham is back over here to the northeast, the map northeast, down here. And he'll be pushing up Loomis and Vaughn to try to attack maybe Woodruff, get Woodruff going. But Woodruff's in pretty strong shape. He's all recovered. And Sill is in pretty good shape here as well to hold out. So we'll see how it goes. So anyways, I will do that and then bring you back and we'll go from there. Okay, coming back with the end of Cheatham's activation. We have, let me zoom in here for you so you can see this a little bit better. So he's activated over here. There we go. Both Vaughn and Loomis. Loomis pushed up and tried to attack Woodruff. Surprisingly, Woodruff held pretty good. Only one disordered. From Loomis's case, though, they moved up. No hits over here except for this unit right here, which they are now disordered over here. Now they didn't assault or shock, I should say, at this point because. These two guys are still in, relatively good order and somewhat high strength. So they're 7, and they are still 10 over here. So we're going to take another shot. There's one more activation for Cheatham in the cup someplace. So we'll see with that there. But they're pushing, because if they can get them all disordered, that would count as the 2nd Brigade towards the division and get them the 2 divisions for the victory. From Vaughn's perspective over here, one set of units, the 9th Texas, and the 12th Tennessee, was able to push up here really hard. They actually pushed back this unit here, who's under Sill, which is the 24th Wisconsin. pushed them back into the guns and disordered them. And then they also followed up with a continued shock, and the 88th was pushed back as well. They came up here, decided not to shock again, so they disordered and stayed there. So they're all disordered here, which is it's good, because now if the 21st could be knocked out, then they would have them as a disorder, and that would get Sheridan as being disordered as well. But what happened is they lost their shock attack. They tried, but they lost, had to retreat, disordered, and were pushed back here. So as I said, there's only one more activation in there. Those guys aren't going to be able to do it, but we do have some units over here which might be able to do it. I'm not sure. Actually, they're disordered as well, and they can't do it over here. They can't move up here because they'd move 2. They actually turn 1 and then 2. So yeah, they really can't do much over there. They're just going to recover. So really the key over here is going to be on Loomis to see if they can push over here. But we've also got some activity in the center that's hopeful for the Confederates as well, which is if Post's brigade can be BCE'd, then they would have it. Now, they are very close to doing that. Now, Post has 2 on the routed track, so they're halfway to being routed. This unit and this unit are the only ones that are left. This unit is disordered. This unit is not. Post is sitting on top of them to give them some bonus. They're also pretty good strength at the moment. So we'd have to have Polk pushing up here against them or them to take it. And then the rest of them, will be ancillary attacks. Just trying to push back and try to make something happen over there. So, anyways, that's kind of the path for victory for the Confederates. If they don't make it, it becomes a draw, and the Union can at least take that out of it if they get it. So the next one it's going to be Cheatham. All right, that's their 3rd. So all activations at this point are going to be played. So I'm going to have to take a think about this in terms of how Polk is going to go after Post. We may have Liddell, he's over here, push against Carlin to try to get some problems going for the Indiana, 22nd Indiana over here. As well, we still got the push over here, which I think Johnson and Wood might be able to get them, but Wood is still in advance, so they can't really do much over here. Johnson can get a good push on here, but they would have to push into here and really get up to here, which is it's going to be a tough push, because they're under attack, so they're only moving 3, so they could go 2, attack, and then advance, and then keep doing that a couple turns, or a couple shocks, and maybe push themselves in there. It's going to be tough. Anyways, we'll see how it goes. But anyways, I'll get those straight and bring back with you. Of Claiborne's activation. We see here that quite a bit of activity over here. First to the north, Johnson pushes hard against Baldwin's right flank. He falls back, but the push is not enough for Johnson. He's still quite far away from here. They do make some progress. Wood successfully activates to attack, hits Baldwin up here, knocks him back, and also grabs the 2 guns of Carlin that were stationed there in the woods. So they push there. Again, not enough to get up to the road here yet. Over on the right flank for the Confederates, Liddell pushes up here, trying to go after this one unit. Because if this guy breaks, then we've got 2 brigades that are in BCE. Doesn't quite get there, and he himself has quite a bit of setbacks. He's lucky to make it this far, because they are disordered, even though they're up there. And his reserves back here. He's got one reserve, but it's not going to be able to make it up with just one activation left in there. So he's all by himself up there. Also, he's at a fatigue 1, which is not going to be good. Polk is the same thing. They pushed back on him, but again, they were disordered. So if we look at their stack, you'll see Polk over here, his units. Oops, come on, post. Post just doesn't want to stay together. Doesn't want to stay at his post. Wow. So Polk, you can see here, he disordered the Arkansas unit there. Disordered, I think it's at 3rd Arkansas. So he couldn't get in there as well to attack him, but we could do some exchanges for the last activation, we'll see. The rest of Polk's units moved up, pushed back. The rest of Carlin's units over here driving a wedge back over here. So that was Claiborne's 3rd activation, and it's not looking too good for the Confederates to get a win out of this. It looks like they may have to settle for a draw, but we'll see how it goes. Next one up. Oh, Claiborne again. All right, so it's his 4th one. This may decide it right here, because this is his locked activation. We still have McCowan 1, 2, 1, 2. I think McCowan has 2 left. Yeah, McCowan has 2 left, which they can try to press up here as well. So maybe that'll work. We'll see. Let me take a look at what to do for Claiborne for the last activation of the game for them, and we'll be back from there. Okay, so we wound up with Claiborne and their activations. Just to zoom out a little bit here for you. Over here with Johnson, they pushed, again, pushing back Baldwin, giving ground slowly. They're not able to get about 2 hexes away from getting one of those. So that's too bad. Wood pushed up here in the middle a little bit more, but no real big effect other than pushing Baldwin back a couple of hexes. Claiborne did some rallies over here. Liddell and Polk over here tried to go after this unit right here with no effect. Actually, Liddell was pushed back. Polk just got into a little firefight. No effect at all. Polk's unit did push back over here a little bit, trying to link up here with Loomis, and did make some progress over here. But the Union is still holding the line over here, and it is good and is in good position to do that. Now we still got a couple of McCowan's jits in here to go as well. So let's see what the next one's going to be. It's going to be a cavalry. I figured that was coming out here pretty soon because I got 3 cavalries out here. At this point, cavalry is pretty much done on its own. The reason why I say that is because they can't get through these woods very quickly. Even if I was to move it up 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and then they'd have to take a couple cohesion tests, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 UDD, and there are 5, and then 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9. Yeah, see, they can't get close to it as well, unfortunately. Same with all these back units here. So they don't have much to do. In fact, I don't think I'm going to activate them at all. Save them for later because they just can't get up there. So yeah, we'll just take a pass on the cavalry, and I think that'll be the cavalries. We still got 2 McGowans and a Sheridan in here someplace. It's another cavalry. We'll take a pass on him and go with the next shit. Sheridan. Okay, we've got Sheridan to go. Now Sheridan, down here, he's got a couple of things he wants to do. Just wants to hold the line. There's really nothing he has to do because Claiborne is 1, 2. I thought Claiborne was done. Maybe there's. Oh no, there's one more Cheatham in here. So there is one more Cheatham. So Sheridan needs to be careful because there is one more Cheatham out here as well. So I think I'll just keep you on camera for this. I think what we'll do, they can't change stacking, but they can try to rally. And I think I want to do that because if I get them to rally, then they'll pretty much be safe. So let's try this. Let's try first with Sills units. So he's a 6. He'll get a -1. -1. Actually, no, 6 -1, but they're in front of a Confederate unit, so that's actually going to be +1. So it's going to be 0. They roll a 9. Ooh, that's not good. They actually lose a strength point for that. Huh. Okay, weird little result. Not what I expected, but never is with dice rolls. So now we've got to try to recover the 88th Illinois. So they'll need a 6 or less. They roll a 6. No, +1, 7. So that's, they don't recover. Okay, so they both don't recover and they actually lose a step over there. Okay, what's left to do with Michigan over here? They can't necessarily see them to shoot, but I think we're gonna turn them one and turn back just to get them out of the way. They're kind of holding the ground, or holding the unit together here, seeing as these two did not recover. So I'm not sure if that's going to have an effect because Vaughn is really, beat up here, even with their next activation. So that is all for Sheridan. We've just got 3 more to go. And there's Cheatham right there. Yep, there's Cheatham right there. So this is Cheatham's last. So, as I said with Vaughn, not much they can do. They are going to move. They'll take a fatigue hit over here eventually. But let's see, these guys will move up 2 to there, 3 to there, turn, and then take a shot up here. It's going to be uphill, so there's no modifiers. They can potentially shoot back. The artillery can't, so they would be shooting back with 6. No modifiers. He would be 4. No modifiers. So straight 4 and 6. No modifiers. Well, ooh, 8, 9. Ooh. So 4 with a 9. That's a 1d plus 2. Interesting. And then a 6 with an 8 is a 1d plus 2. So both of them are hit pretty hard. So he will go to a 5. Reduced. And he's going to need to take a leader check real quick. Leader's good. So it'll be a 6 with a +1. 5 plus 1 is 6, so he's okay. He stays put. Alright, but he does take a loss. He's down to 5. Ooh, interesting. So he gets a 1d plus 2. So he goes to a 3. He's a 7 with a +2 for EDD. 6 plus 2 is 8. He disorders. Okay, he disorders. Alright. No, actually, these guys can't move up because they're disordered. So he can't either. He can't really either. Yeah, he can't really do much. So I guess the rest of these are just recoveries. Actually, these guys could shoot. They're going to get pounded. both these guys, but could get interesting. So these guys are 4. They're disordered. It's uphill -1. So 4 with a -1 against them. Oh, but they've already shot at them, so they can't shoot back, but these guys could. So now I guess the question is, should we just shoot at these guys back and forth? Yeah, why don't we do that? So this would be 4 with a -1 against them. They will be 6 with no modifiers. 0. So it's a D -2 on them. So they've got -2. They're okay. So they miss. We've got 1 to shoot uphill at somebody. Try to shoot at them. 1 with a -2. Yeah, it's a miss. Okay, so they didn't do anything. We'll do some recoveries here just to be consistent. So under 1, he's 6 -1. Yep, he makes it. And then 5 with a -1. He doesn't make it. So we got 1 recovered. Yeah, that's good. They won't be BCE'd. Last unit over here, he needs a 5. Rolls a 4. So we've got a lot of units. And I kept 1 in reserve. That sharpshooter regiment stayed in reserve. So they're going to get fatigue. They're pretty much done. And Sheridan's in good shape. Now we come over to Loomis. I think everybody's just going to start shooting at each other here, see what happens. So these guys, they're on -2, -4, +1. So they're -3. They're going to be a 1, 2, 0. So they're a 7 +0, and they're a 7 -3, or 6 -3. They go to 0. That's a -2. And then the 7 stays a 7, so they're a D. Yeah. And there will be a -3. And UDD, they're good. Yep. So they fired. These guys will fire at them as well. So they'll be 6. -2. I could fire here. I could split their fire. I think they'll do that. Split their fire. So there'll be 5 coming back. Over there, 6 going against them. -2. They will be 5 -2. So they get a 6. D +2 on them. 0. He misses. So D +2 becomes a D +1. So they roll. Ooh, they roll at 8. So they disorder. Oh, this could get interesting. Woodruff. They disorder. So now we've got Loomis over here. He's an 8. +1 +2 0, 5 -2. So it's going to be 6 +0 and 5 -2. Oh, that's a hit. That's an 8. 1D +2 and a D. So these guys here will go to a 9. And take a D +2. 6 + 2 is 8, so they'll go down again, so they go to an 8. I'm going to retreat 1 to 2 hexes. They'll go 1 hex. Oops. They stay there. They go 1 hex to there. Like that. So they fire, but they can advance in there because they vacated. So it's not movement, it's an advance. Alright, Loomis. Alright, who else? Then we've got this guy over here, 26 Alabama, going against these guys. So they are 6 with nothing, and they are going to be 6 with nothing. So straight up shots on the 6th column. 5 for the Confederates, D+1, D-2 for the Confederates. Alright, so D+1 for the Union. 7, they actually, oh, they break. Uh-oh, this is problematic. I do believe they break. Okay, or disorder, sorry. These guys do get a, there we go, D-2 because they rolled a 5. Over here, so they also have a D-2. 7 goes to 5, they're okay. Alright. So Loomis is pressing the attack over here. So they're now all disordered. There's nothing they can do about it. Interesting. That might have just won the game for the Confederates, because there's only 3 units here. Part of this, and their artillery was captured, and they can't recover. So they're all disordered, so that would make them brigade combat ineffective, along with Carlin over here. So that's interesting. But we're not done with Loomis's turn yet. We do have some more we can move up. So we'll bring up the these Alabamans here. That's as far as they can go. I'll bring these guys up. These guys, actually, let's stay there. Alright, and let's see, shock attacks. There's 7 against 7, but there's a -2 in there. Yeah, I don't like it. Given where we are with them, we've got them in a good position, so I don't think we need to actually shock attack. So that's all for Loomis. He will. Loomis is up there. It's all for Cheatham as well. Get that off of there. So he will be good old 1. Like so. Alright. So he's done. Takes a fatigue. Actually, both of them do. A, F, F. Okay. So that is all for them, but I think the Confederates pulled out a squeaker. So next to Chits, we've got McGowan. And then the cavalry. Last one's going to be cavalry, which cavalry's not going to do anything. So really, this is going to be it with McGowan. I think they're going to try to press them in through here. This is going to be a little bit tricky. I may take this off camera for a minute and get things set up, because I think these stacks are going to go flying all over the place. So let me do that, and I'll bring you back with the end. The end of the turn here. I thought it was going to have better attacks, but didn't really pan out with everything here. So that's why I didn't bring you back on camera. But I'll just give you the summary over here. So Ecker moved up, tried to hit the 22nd Indiana. They actually retreated back across here and was able to survive the attack. So they won't take a loss, and these guys are still in good shape. So it looks like Post will not be in brigade combat ineffectiveness, but Woodruff will be. The rest of the line here, both McNair and Rains moved up, pushing back a little bit more, but the Union line is somewhat intact. It's very, very brittle, and threatened to collapse here. I think if there was one more turn, there probably would be a collapse. They would get these other victory hexes down here. But to to just close it off here with everything. We've ended all the activations, so moving on to the end of turn. Commander movement, there's not going to be any recovery, nothing. So combat ineffectiveness, it's essentially going to be, here we go, brigade combat ineffective on Woodruff, which now gives us a divisional combat ineffectiveness. Hang on, just finding a counter for that. Brigade, 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 division, here we go. For Davis over here as well. All right, so that's one, oh, that's brigade, but that division and Johnson's division over here are going to be combat ineffective. So that is actually going to get 2 divisions combat ineffective, which gives the CSA player, Confederate player, a major victory, but they didn't capture these hexes, so it's downgraded to just a minor victory. So nail biter right to the end, because I didn't think it was going to do it. Really lucky over here to actually get them to break. Big push up through here as well to get the win. From the Union perspective, this is a really tough scenario. It's a great teaching scenario if you want somebody to learn, because it's small enough with it, but it has all the elements of GBACW. The Union player is a tough position. I tried to play it here, but I'm obviously playing solo, so I'm concentrating a little bit more on the Confederates with them, but I tried to hold them back and was pretty successful right down to the last rolls. You know, Sheridan over here is in good shape. Davis is combat ineffective, but hopefully he could potentially retreat back here. Baldwin still has some effectiveness to themselves, but it's a really tough shape. The Confederates are beaten up. I will not say that they got through this without an issue. I'm going to do some totals on this and give you a summary of that when we're done, when I'm done here off camera, and you know, kind of let you know what the final numbers look like for this. But you know, really great scenario. I love this little scenario. It's a great play. 4 turns. Easy playing, has all the elements that you want in here. You've got cavalry, you've got artillery, you've got infantry, you've got woods, you've got these heavy cedars, you've got this nice flanking movement. Let me actually zoom you out here. You've got the nice flanking movement that starts way over here, and you get this right wheel type of feel to the whole thing, which is exactly how the battle started. You get to execute that pretty much unhindered as the Confederate side, but it is tricky to keep all those units going in the right place. Plus, you've got to figure out how you want to attack up through here, because these woods are tough. The cedars are extremely tough. It's a -2 defensive position in there. Artillery really can't move through them. Cavalry can't move through them. And this woods is just tough woods, and it's really infantry fighting, you know, in through here. Same thing up in this area as well. So I hope you enjoy this. This is the end of turn 4, Confederate victory, minor victory, but they didn't get these hexes to continue the attack up here. But as you know from history, they did. Oh, actually, I should mention one more point. Kind of played out pretty close to the historical battle. That door swing, as I was saying, that right wheel over here, pretty much the same. A little bit more traffic jams, as I call them, in through here, but I was able to sort those out. Keep things moving, you know, within there. So, like I said, I'll do a little postscript to this and let you know from there. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, folks, just back with a little post-action report. Looking at the numbers, purely with the numbers, looking at the Confederates here, they suffered about 14% casualties, 302 strength points, 41 were lost, 261 left over. All guns remained on the field. So they had about 14-15%, pretty significant for initial hit in the battle. A lot to soak up considering how far they had to go with the rest of the battle, way up to the north. 14% casualties was pretty good, pretty significant. Where we saw this mainly was in McCowan's units, 19 strength points out of 69. Um, there's a significant amount. They suffered the worst, followed by Claiborne, 15 out of 120 strength points. And then Vaughn and Lomas had 7 out of 82 strength points lost there as well. All guns were saved, so that was pretty good. But the Union side was obviously much worse. Looking at the numbers, 42% loss rate for strength points, 110 lost out of 257. Out of 40 guns set up, only 12 remained. That means that 28 guns were lost as part of this. The most significant was within Johnson's units. They lost 66 strength points out of 124. Roughly half their division was lost, casualties. All 18 guns, or excuse me, 12 out of the 18 guns were lost within there, so they took the brunt of the attack. Davis obviously was next. 93 strength points engaged, 34 lost, 59 remaining. All 16 guns that he brought to the field were lost there as well. Sill made out the least. Sheridan, 40 strength points. He lost 10. That's still pretty significant, 25% losses, but that's on par with what Davis had. Of course, Johnson was 50% over here as well. 6 guns and 6 guns retained. So those are the final numbers here. I'm quite pleased with this playthrough. Kind of hopefully gave you a good view of what the battle was like and how nice the scenario is to play through it. And good to remember, what happened 160 years ago. Tough situation with it. I'm playing through this for strategy, also for remembrance and understanding of these battles and what occurred, within them. And it gives me a lot more understanding, seeing what this is all about and how these are actually fought. Great battles of the American Civil War. Great series to actually do this with and to enjoy. So I thank you much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. You can probably think in your mind of what's going to be next. I'm not going to let it known until I actually get it done, but I'll have a little bit of hiatus here for a couple months before it occurs, and I'll get it up and hopefully posted before that. I know I'm probably going to be posting this later because I'm already into January with this, and got a few other projects on the docket as well. So thanks a lot for watching. See you soon.